Hi, folks, and welcome. This is Thamin of Grievance. Got the opportunity to play the Division's open beta here on this weekend of January 27th, 28th, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to show a few people the game, just kind of demonstrate a few things that I've learned playing it, and kind of show you some of the basics, as a lot of people have wanted to peek at it. And we're going to start off right in the first screen here. We have been able to make multiple characters, so I've been playing around, messing around with these. Um, so far, some of these are actually standard weapons I started with, the M4 and the MP5, have been just the kind of weapons I've wanted for the game, although I have ran into other stuff too, shotguns you can replace these with, or what have you. In particular, this M4 that I'm showing right here, I've applied a few things, the front handle to increase accuracy, as well as the white paint job to customize it. And the hat also is not something my character started with, I picked it up in game. A little bit about character customization. Right now, what we have initially isn't very robust or anything. It's typically picking between a few select faces, both male and female, just really a small variety. But again, this is an open beta. I don't expect it to have a whole lot there. All right, so let's take a look at our options, just kind of start off before we go into the game. And I do have the music turned off for sake of YouTube and any copyright issues. So a lot of stuff default. I'm going to go to the key mapping to give everyone a quick glance. Now, most of the stuff up here, WSAD keys, familiar to shooters, shift to sprint, interact, F. Now that's going to be your default key when you approach a lot of things, hitting the F key, and in many cases, you don't just click it. You have to actually hold the F key down for a certain amount of time to complete the action. Use cover space. This game is very based on moving from cover to cover, and space helps not only in getting into cover, but as I will demonstrate later, moving from cover to cover rather easily. Now, obviously, you can aim and fire the way you do in most FPSs. You can reload. You can select your weapons, usually one of two rifles and then your pistol. I am going to bring you down. There are two skills that you can select. You start the game with only one, and you can hot map them to Q or E. So two different skills, and obviously you kind of switch these on the fly in the field if you want. But the game will not pause when you're trying to do that. Now, of note too, you do have grenades, and you can, if you simply click the G fast, you'll be able to launch them and use them. If you hold the G down, you can select the type of grenade. Now, I'll tell you right now, as much as that might be intuitive and used to some games, I have definitely messed up, like tried to throw a grenade and I'm kind of stuck in the screen to select which grenade. It happens. Mark target, I hadn't really used that, hadn't really noticed, nor have I messed with the auto run. It's important to notice too, you do have several perk skills, talents you can modify. Now this is interesting, this game does come with a push to talk button. It does try to recognize what you're using so you can talk to your teammates and you can look at them. We have not really messed with the emotes. However, I do also know as you go further down the list, you can use different types of ammo using the Alt key. This is important because I did pick up explosive ammo in the game and simply did not know how to select it. Soda, water, energy bars, but it looks like that's what you can use for a health boost in the field. Greetings. Now here we are inside the game. We can see our hero there. We can pan around, see from every angle. Of course, obviously, we can still snap to whichever direction that we happen to be looking to aim a weapon. And this particular crosshairs is for the M4. That's typically your heavy weapon as you start out. Slightly different look for the MP4. As you mentioned, that orange line to the right of the center tells you how many rounds are still in the gun. You also have that information down below. The handgun is a little tricky. When I first used it, it looked like the aiming point was at the bottom of those two slashes, that diagonal slashes that go inward, like right now. it would be aiming about here to hit the taillights on the cop car. Other times it seems like I have to go between those horizontal slashes, and then I'd be aiming here. So the gun has me just a little confused. Nevertheless, I've been able to get a few kills off of it. Grenades. Now I see the different types of grenades we pick up. Typically, a flashbang grenade is one of the ones we pick up early on, as well as you got fragmentation grenades. Now, right now I'm not going to mess with those, but that's the menu to actually grab one. Your skills list. I'm going to show you a couple of them. Now, right now, here we're going to go into abilities. Now we're going to click. One of the ones that we have, which you start out with, but I have not assigned, is this pulse. Sends out a recon pulse that marks hostiles and allies through walls and covers. Even though I have had that, even though it looks like you can upgrade that later on, I haven't used it. The first one I got very early out of the gate, which I used, is the sticky bomb. Fires a bomb that sticks to most surfaces and explodes when detonated remotely. I'll demonstrate that one shortly. You notice I've assigned it the E key. Over here in security, now we have a ballistic shield. Equips a portable ballistic shield that absorbs damage. The user can only use their sidearm while the shield is active. And I have assigned that one in the queue. We are going to demonstrate as far as using these first couple skills here. So right now I'm going to do the Q. Now all I have to do is press it once and the shield comes up. And then I can move with cover, although with this shield you can only use the pistol to fire. Oh. And score one squirrel or rabbit kill, whatever that was. Oh, a rat. Yes, there are plenty of rats. Now there's one less in New York. Now I hold down the Q. I can get rid of that thing. Now you also notice, okay, so I have a scope equipped. To use it, aim your weapon with RMB and press tab to toggle zooming. Now, I have one of the earlier scopes on here, so as you can see, it doesn't actually zoom much, nor does it confine my sight by using an actual, like, zooming down the pipe here. Now, folks, we're going to show you the sticky bomb. And that I've assigned to E. Now I tap E, and now I can actually select where I want this sticky bomb to go.
No hay esperanza, no hay esperanza.
Let's just set it up there, right up on that wall. And I press E to detonate it when I want. Uh-oh. And it seems I have acquired trouble.
Send it back to hell. We own this place. This is ours now.
Now there's two ways to fire from cover. You can aim traditionally, or without aiming, you can simply hit the gun. You can simply hit the left mouse button to fire. Now notice at this point it's more cover fire, so you're firing more wildly but less chance of getting hit. Once again, aim and shoot, exposing yourself but more accurate, or trying to shoot wildly but not unduly expose yourself by just hitting the shoot button. Now I'm going to show you the cover. Cover is very greatly needed in this game. As I'm moving forward, you notice you can select these on or off, but right for those boxes it's asking for the space bar. By hitting space, I jump into cover. By hitting control, I can jump over an item. And notice there are several items around the world that I can light up and get to. Again, you have to necessarily press down the F button to get to these. So here I am in cover from a different perspective. Notice that as I look around, I see other cover options up there. Now what will happen if I want to go over here is I just hold the space bar down.
你得要去对付你真正的
And my
敌人。
character automatically moves into there. And again, a quick right or left changes how he's looking from this obstruction. Now I want to go forward. Let's say I start hitting space, but I want to stop halfway there. Holding space, letting go, and all of a sudden now I can just stop and shoot. And back into space. Again, you can move forward by just holding the space down and continuing like that. And control to jump over objects. Now, as we saw, we've got some loot here. Again, holding down F, we've looted that item. Looking at our inventory, we can actually click and find out where that is. Now I notice it looks like we've actually grabbed a gun, as these two are highlighting. There we go. So we picked up a new weapon, a military L86. The game gives you the DPS and you can compare it to the guns you have. Now a lot of times you'll also find there's extra information on here, such as LMGs provide heavy fire at the cost of high recoil, great for suppressing enemies. Assault rifle, versatile mid-range weapon useful in most combat situations. Now granted, while I've been playing, I've been mostly using this MP5 submachine gun. Now the MP5 submachine gun, this one has been modified, so you notice I have an extra critical hit chance. So SMGs provide a barrage of low impact shots at a high rate of fire. Again, you can kind of see the DPS between them, but you can also take into account their differences. Right now the M4 I have out. So as I click these, I can see the relative differences in my range, stability, and accuracy compared to the other two weapons. As we look at these weapons, right now I currently have out the M4 in my hands. And there's its stats. If I want to compare other guns to it, for instance, here's the MP5. This is all the information on it, and here's how it compares to the weapon I have equipped. As you see, a higher reload speed, less accuracy, less range. If I look at this light machine gun that I picked up, I can also see it has less accuracy than the M4 in my hand, but does have a slightly greater range, and then I can see other details of the weapon. If I so decide, I can set to be my #1 weapon, or I could actually deconstruct it as junk. So we're going to go back into inventory, and we're going to go back here so that we can see that spare weapon. Now in this case, I don't particularly want to use this L86 LSW. As far as I've seen, I have not seen merchants in the beta buy back weapons. It seems the only use you can do is to deconstruct as junk, or mark as junk, for either deconstructing or, who knows, possibly selling later. Right now in the beta, there seems to be nothing to do except deconstruct it as junk. And again, I kind of forgot, you have to hold the button down. I guess that's to prevent any accidental hitting of the button and doing the wrong thing. Right now we can't do anything with those items that we get when we deconstruct it, so that's for a future game mechanic. Now we're going to take a look at the character screen. This shows me the weapon I'm using, the health I have. I'm not entirely certain how the skill power fits into things. I have a level, but I also have a dark zone rank. Here we have pouches, so you can glance at a glance what your character has as far as different ammunition types, and these can be restocked at several rearming points around the city, some of them even in some mission areas that we'll find. Now here you see I did actually pick up an energy bar, and you see the effects of it. Here we have explosive bullets. Like I said, I knew I picked some up, I just wasn't sure earlier how to equip them. Here I can also see at a glance what different types of grenades I have and what different types of grenades exist.
Should take it easy.
Here we're going to take a look at our character's appearance. The trendy trapper hat is actually something that I picked up during an encounter. If I double click it, I can get rid of it, and that's what I was used to seeing my character look like at the start of the game. The parka and military pants came free, but can be removed if you tend to prefer the look without them. Now we're going to talk about the map and some of the adventures on it. Very early on the game, your goal is to get to this building and establish a base camp. Now there's an interactive map if you push M. We've seen this map before in several peeks into the game and definitely thought it was one of the coolest things. We can look at the building. I can see what I assume to be part of the dark zone in the middle of New York City. Now, just to move around, we can see where my character is with this little stick figure, and they're located right next to the base of operations. But when you originally start the game, you actually land down here at what's called the hub. And you notice, even though I've established the base, I can hit X to fast travel back to the hub. There are also vendors located there, and as well as a means, a player stash as well as a means to hook up with other players. Now originally, you're given a dotted line to get to this base of operations and establish it. But as you notice at the map, there are several other missions available, all marked here. There's a side mission here, and this regards to actually a character, Fei Lao, which you actually meet early on in the tutorial. There are other encounters, securing a hostile stronghold in this case. There were other encounters in this area that I cleared when coming in, and not all of them are marked. At any point when you move across the city, you might run into other random encounters, and if your ears are sharp, you might be able to pick up a robbery in progress or somebody plotting something foul, and I have interrupted a number one of those meetings. Also next to it is an underground entrance. There are several of those located throughout the city. Several other missions are also very much available, but like I said, you may run into several unmarked area missions if you're watchful. You'll notice there's a mission here at Madison Field Hospital which I've already completed. When you open up the base, there are several upgrades that the base needs and several quests to create those upgrades. One of them took place in Madison Field Hospital and involved rescuing a doctor. I succeeded and opened up a medical wing inside this base.
We're the lucky ones here.
Now let's go take a look inside. Here we can see our progress. Now the game has stated that even though other players may enter the base, you only see how you've affected the base. And here we can kind of get an idea of how we're going to see that effect over the course of the game. Your character is forced to slow to a walk here. I'm assuming that this might be some kind of a seamless load. There are other places which you'll actually cross the door and you get an actual load screen. Just inside your base of operations is this restock. This way you can fully restock your ammo and your grenades every time you come here.
Even if it is the end of the world, thousands of sick people just shot.
There is also a player stash where you can store items of your significance. There are several vendors also willing to offer things. Again, here's the crafting station, not available in beta.
Got a piece here that's calling your name.
Now we have a weapons vendor.
Yo, check out the merchandise.
Now at first, your wallet isn't enough to buy a lot of things in the store. And one thing I've noticed though is also the fact that a lot of random missions in the streets won't reward you with money. However, some will, so you'll just have to keep your eyes open.
Ah, it's cool.
As you expand this base, more and more will become available. Okay, we appear to be nearing a situation of a hostile encounter.
They don't give a damn about us.
Think we're done here.
You better run.
This is where I'm going to use my sticky grenade.
Hey, what was that?
Deep breath. Nice one, dude. Let's have us some fun.
A regular grenade.
Out of there. Grenade. He's just hiding.
A lot of times you'll see too if they go to draw a grenade on you.
Get my back while I reload. Put the
Again,
pressure on.
I can touch space, aim at a spot, and move directly up to it.
Oh crap.
Now I'm going to use my submachine gun, which tends to be my favorite anyways. Now again, if I choose not to stick my head out, I can just hit this without aiming, but I will be firing wildly. The more you fire,
Oh crap.
the more wild you will be firing. You notice you come back to the full health of only the 2/3 that I was at. Again, little V, little medikit, we heal that right up. As you approach an altercation, it may be hard to actually spot any loot that might drop, so you'll want to really watch your radar. Just in case something does show up that you didn't otherwise see. Here we go.
Thank
Here's
you.
a civilian
Thank you
in
so
need,
much.
and I gave him a medikit. And looks like I've earned some work boots because of it. The game does try to give you hints in beta, such as how to equip new items of clothing. As you'll notice inside the game, sometimes weather can really be a factor, and it moved in during this recent firefight. Again, I can use shift if I want to sprint, and space to duck into cover real fast. If I want to get out of cover, I just move back. Yeah, and the weather effects in this game are just one of the awesome things that I tend to like about it. Look at my character. He does not want to be there, and that doesn't even have anything to do with the wreck of the city. You can imagine a snowstorm.
Otherwise, I'd be waiting all month.
You never give me a chance.
It's the apocalypse, for God's sakes, and we're still having the same argument.
Jesus, you're a nag. You're just like your mom.
And you're still lazy as you ever were.
Do your own damn dishes then.
Interesting that even in the worst of apocalypses, some things never change. Sometimes this game can have quite the forlorn look. Between the weather patterns, the lighting,
I'm just sick of it. Did they just forget about us?
conversations that add color that you hear in the background.
Hey, watch your back, friend. A gang's just been by here. Get somebody down here first.
Thank you, good to know. Took some time to find this item, but I noticed it appearing on my inventory and just had a little trouble actually finding out where it was. Again, it's not just hitting F, it's holding it down. Now I found another flashbang grenade that should not have been next to a children's playground.
Take that bitch down! In and out, bitch! In and out!
I've interrupted something in progress. Time to use this grenade.
Oh shit!
No! I can't see!
Well, that was messy. And then as the smoke clears, we discover we find something. A medikit. Some items are picked up automatically. Notice, however, the damage done to the nearby car from the flashbang. I'm sure the windshield did not look like that before. Now we're just going to do another test of the physics of the game. Alright folks, I think that's all for tonight. The sun has finally came out, no more snowstorms, we're back at the base of operations, and ready to continue. Definitely looking forward to when this game comes out in its release. Remember, everything you have seen here is a beta, so very subject to change, very subject to needing adjustments. But so far everything we've seen here looks pretty good. This is Thamin of Grievance, signing off.